Greetings, YouTube. Back again. Next, we're going to talk about the Hexblade. And the Hexblade, again, another fighter magic user kind of class that has, cursing abilities, things like that. More thematic stuff. And then we have something called a Dark Companion. Essentially, it's a piece of your soul that you project and then travels with you. And what it does is when it becomes adjacent to a foe, it reduces their saves and their AC by 2. So you just reduced all their saving throws by 2, which means you are now great support for not only your own magic, but for every other caster in the party. You're making that enemy easier to hit with the spells, and that is cool. It doesn't have any other real abilities. If you hit it with a weapon, it can't harm it. It can be dispelled, but it can be returned the next day, I think it is. Next, we have the Marshal, and again, I've never seen a purpose for this kind of a character. To me, it's more along the knight concept, so I really didn't care about the Marshal. Next, we have the Monk, and this is an interesting ability because it allows you to have one really strong blow as opposed to a flurry of blows. And I can think there are certain builds that make sense, though the flurry is very useful, particularly if you're playing in a Pathfinder game, because they improve the flurry so it has the same bad progression as a fighter of the same level, so that it gets better, which I think is kind of cool. But I can see there's a reason some people may want to have a single blow that's really going to hurt somebody, as opposed to a bunch of blows that may just be kind of wiffle balling them. Next, we have a Paladin. And you have the ability to do a charging smite, which really amps up the damage if you're charging somebody, man. This is a useful ability. It replaces your mount, which is fine because sometimes people don't want to have mounts, at least not magic mounts. They just want to have improve the person's ability to perform as an adventurer. Next, we have the Ranger, and this allows the person to essentially flank someone just by attacking them, which is kind of cool. Rogue, and they have a disruptive attack, which allows them to make it easier. You're exploiting the creature's weaknesses, and when you flank it, you choose to sacrifice your sneak attack damage in order to supply a -5 penalty to the creature's AC for 1 round. That's cool. Okay, that again, it's a support kind of thing, and I like that. I like that team concept here. Then we have Scout, and I always thought the Scout was kind of an interesting idea, but I never really got into it. But what you get here is you get a climb speed as opposed to being really fast on the ground. You get to be really fast up and down, which makes sense if you're doing a lot of mountaineering or a lot of dungeon crawling. Next we have Sorcerer, which has you trade off your familiar and you get some meta magic specialist abilities, allowing the sorcerers to apply meta magic feats a certain number of times a day to their spells without having to bump it up. Then we have Swashbuckler, and their ability is allowing them to using a pair of weapons, both of which are light. You get a bonus to your AC whenever you attack with these weapons, which is nice. And the attack goes up as level, so it's +5 at 20th level. So that increases your AC very easily, and you're probably going to be using 2 weapons anyway if you're playing a Swashbuckler, so it's not a bad trade-off. And we have Warlock, and again, more thematic stuff. And then we have you are able to immolate yourself in energy, so that people attack you, they get hurt. That's kind of a cool idea, and it kind of plays into the whole kind of demonic kind of feel that the Warlocks always have, though I don't think you should be tied to that concept. Then you have War Mage, and the War Mage ability allows you to... what does it do? A second. Oh, a second. Oh, it allows you to add new spells, which is good because war mages have very limited spells. Actually, sorry for the delay there for the oohing and eyeing. I'm running through this very quickly as I can. I may have to do another section. I don't know. Then we have the wizard, and this allows you to have improve your specialization if you are a specialist, which is kind of a cool idea. And we have a whole lot of feats, and the feats in this book are awesome for fighters. There's so many things in here. For example, getting a +2 to hit, +2 damage, an entire range of weapons, like all slashing weapons, all bludgeoning weapons, all piercing weapons. That's cool. Of course, you have to have some prerequisites like weapon focus and one of the weapons that is of that type, but it really helps boost what a character can do as a fighter. A 2-weapon rend. If you're 2-weapon fighting, this allows you to rend like a troll does, which is very cool. Then we have some combat feats, tactical feats, which are again team oriented, which I really like. Then we have a whole lot of spells in here. Then we get into adventuring, and the last thing in this book, which is really cool, were builds. They give up a little section where they give 20 level builds of feat selections. So you can choose, you want to play a fighter, he's like a defender. You want to play a fighter who's a striker. You want to play a fighter who's a ranger, a ranged fighter. And what kind of recommendations they give for paying out your feats. I think it was a really nice thumbnail sketch of how to create the build that you want. I love this book. I think it's awesome. And I think that anybody who likes 3.5 rules needs a copy.